Now we transition over to East Carolina. We've got Kim McNeill in her 5th season. They were picked preseason number 2 after winning the conference tournament last year, a team that proved it's not about where you start, it's how you finish. A team picked preseason 11th to conference tournament champs. Let's take a look at how the Pirates did last year and all of the success that they had. Let's take a look here at the women's side, the women's media preseason poll. And here we've got South Florida at the top runner.
I don't think ever in my life I've been picked last at anything. It was a very hard pill to swallow, but I knew what we had, coming back. I knew what we had gotten off the portal. I knew the freshmen that we had. So I knew we weren't going to finish last.
Finally into McNeal. 3 seconds. McNeal forces it up for the lead. Out of bounds and no good, and SMU survives.
It's funny. I've just recently gone back and watched this game. We weren't ready to win a game like that yet. After that game was over with, in the past, I would have come in the locker room and it would have been a team that was probably shaken and would give up at that point. I think that's the game where they realized that they could win in this league and they could be a true contender in this league.
3, no good. That will count. East Carolina overcomes it.
Well, first watching this clip just sends chills through me. To hear the crowd chanting ECU, it just makes me so proud. I always say to my teams, it's not about how you start the season. It's really not where you are in the middle of the season. It's how you finish it. And that's really where you want to be playing your best basketball. A triple overtime win against a really, really good Houston team that makes you play very, very ugly. Just tremendously proud of this team and what they did and just where the program is.
Celebrations, what's going through your mind right now?
They picked us last. They picked us last. And now we're going dancing. We're going dancing.
How many times have you seen that interview since that game?
A lot.
Does it get old?
No. And I've heard it a lot too. Just like being out recruiting and seeing other coaches and saying, hey, we're with you. I've been picked last before. It's kind of inspirational. But now I get emotional again just watching this all over again, just thinking about where this program has come and how far we've grown. In the past, it was just talk. Now it's not talk. It's real. It's realistic. It's real. We can win another championship. And that's our goal from here on out. We're building a championship program. I'm extremely excited about the season. To me, it doesn't matter where they pick us because as we proved last year, it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you end.
Coach McNeill joins us right now here on this set. Coach, you were sitting up here watching that back with us. What's going through your mind as those memories
Listening
resurface?
to your voice, tell them that's their 11th. That was you.
Just a lot of pride, in what we've been able to accomplish with this program in the last 4 years. Just making Greenville happy, just making, Pirate Nation proud, making women's basketball, in Greenville relevant.
After the enormously successful season you had, right, it's like you take a step back after that March run and you're like, okay, we had to spend this whole season proving ourselves to everybody. Now we reset. So what does that goal immediately shift and become?
It wasn't even about proving it to everyone else. It was about them believing in themselves was my biggest obstacle. We'd have a bad day in practice, and they would revert back to the past of when we didn't have good seasons. So it was about building confidence every single day. We're not quite there yet, but I do think they have a little bit more confidence in themselves, knowing that, we belong in this league and we can compete in this league. And it's been really fun in practice and just all the talent that we have coming back and all the new guys we've got as well.
Go back to that last year, though. You're picked last. How do you make that motivated team yet not define a team? Because that's a slippery slope, too. You don't want to over-talk about it to the point where it defines you, yet you want it to be a motivating factor.
We talked about it a little bit this summer, but the first initial day of practice, I told my guys, look, this is a new season. Like what we did last year is in the past. Like last year is last year. New season, new team, new players. Figuring out the chemistry with returning all 5 starters, which I think in today of college basketball is pretty big. It shows loyalty to my kids that could have hit the portal and left, but they chose to come back. And then just mingling that with the new guys who are going to play for us, So, we've got some kids that are hungry to prove that, we aren't a one-hit wonder team. I don't want to be that team that just does it for 1 year. We're building a program here. We're building a championship program.
Yep. How does the American help with that, too? Because it's a conference that's growing. Talked about it earlier. Mike Resco said upward mobility. There's upward mobility in this conference. How's the American Conference serve you in that regard?
There are a lot of great coaches in this league.
Yeah.
A lot of great coaches, a lot of great players. And as I always say, I don't think we get enough credit for how good we are as a basketball league. And we just want to continue to put this league on a national stage. Trying to get as many teams as we can in the NCAA tournament, and not only getting there but winning some games. We want to win some games in the tournament.
Coach, you bring in all of these new players as well that have a lot of talent, but returning your core. How do you strike that balance of now having all of this depth and, just sort of what you learned from last year, how you can apply that?
Yeah, this is the deepest team we've had since I've been at East Carolina, and that's a coach's dream, to be able to sub kids in and not lose anything. And, it's up to myself and my coaching staff to figure it all out. How do we, as you said, we have 5 all our returning starters, but we've also got, some kids, some freshmen and some transfers that are going to be able to do a lot of good things for us. My motto stays the same. I want to look down at that stat sheet and see multiple kids in double figures, at least 3 to 4, and I definitely think we can do that. I think we got kids that can lead us in scoring on any given night. Danae might give us 21 night. Amaya might give us 21 night. Micah, the twins, the White twins, they can do it for us as well. So, we're deep and we're fun to watch right now.
Well, Brooke put together a great list of some teams to watch, teams she's looking forward to seeing here this season, and of course the Pirates being on that list. Brooke, what went into, some of your decisions there? Why is Danae McNeal deserving preseason player of the year?
Yeah, I think, we said it before, is that she's declared, she wants to play at that next level. Daughter of a coach, I think she's probably got a pretty good work ethic and is able to take positive and negative criticism and turn it into something great. And then, you just look down the line. Sammy Puisis at USF, she's a terrific shooter, but Danae McNeal, you have to have that mindset of confidence, and that has to come from your leader, your coach, and your mom. So Coach McNeal has done a terrific job of instilling that in Danae. But look at her stats. 17 points, 3 boards, 3 steals. Those are the types of numbers that are going to get the coaches and scouts at the next level excited, right? And it's then you got to come see what we're doing in practice. But as Coach McNeal said to me earlier, it's about winning games first before they get to the professional level. So Danae, with all those incredible accolades, the one thing she wants up there is more dubs.
Coach, what do you see in her at practice that we don't get to see that really made her deserving of this honor in the preseason? And you think maybe, it could extend all the way into a, player of the honor? Player of the year type honor.
When Danae is good in practice, we're really good in practice. So we're really hard on her. That's the expectations of your best player. She's got to have those wide shoulders to be able to accept that. Like, you've got to bring it every single day. And we challenge her every single day, to be the best that she can be. But she also understanding that it's not about just the points that she scores for us. It's her defense. It's her rebounding. It's all of those things. I told her she has to be a stat stuffer for us this year. I want to look down and see, 17, 18 points, 5 or 6 rebounds, 2 or 3 steals. Like, I want her to be a stat stuffer for us this year.
Danae McNeal, she is standing by right now with our very own Maya Reese. Maya?
The name Danae McNeal, right? I feel like I've heard it at least 30 times in the hallway. They keep mentioning you, keep talking about you, so I'm happy to have you here today. Tell me a little bit about just knowing that you are this season's preseason player of the year, right? How does it feel to hear that?
It feels great. I'm just so grateful that I've been put in that position, and honestly, I owe it all to my teammates. They're amazing. They get me the ball, and they're just great. I really owe it to them.
So for you, what are some things in this off season that you've been focusing on and working on?
Definitely seeing the open man. I know that when I attack, I draw 2 to 3 people at times, seeing the open kick in the corner, and then also making sure that I'm shooting the 3 consistently as well.
The fact that you are a championship caliber team, what did you identify to be one of your team's weaknesses, and how have you guys been able to flip that?
Weakness for us, I would say communicating constantly. In practice, our coaches constantly making sure that we're talking about every little thing, and when we are together and we're communicating, that's when we're great as a team.
And then you have 8 of your top players returning this season, but then you also have some new transfers coming in. You got the Weiss twins. Can you just speak a little bit about that team dynamic and how you guys are able to bond together?
Of course, with winning the championship last year, we kind of just want them to feel welcome and to just buy into the culture, knowing that nothing's going to be easy and that we have to work for everything we want.
Hearing that you have preseason player of the year, right? You have a championship level team. For you, what is your mindset when you hear these sorts of things? How does that motivate you to want more and to reach those accomplishments?
Just knowing that we're not done. There's still a lot that we have to work for, a lot that we have to prove, and we just have to prove it all to ourselves, just continue to work.
And then your coach spoke a little bit about it, but you do want to head to that next level and potentially one day be in the WNBA. What is it like having to prepare for that? How is that different from college that you've seen?
Just having a different mindset. Watching Kobe play, Maya Moore, Tarazi, they all have a completely different mindset. Like, the competitiveness is just through the roof. Yeah.
And then being that your mother is a coach, what are some of the main things that she's taught you?
Just, we always have this Bible scripture that we say, Philippians 4:13, just know that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And she pushes me every day. We text, we talk nonstop. She's just my main motivator.
And then just to speak really quick about your coach, because she was bragging about you, what are some of the main things that your coach has taught you and also helped you as you prepare for your next step?
Just to be confident, believe in ourselves. Also knowing that I need my teammates along with me to help me get to that level as well.
And who are some of those main teammates that you typically look for help?
Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely lean on them.
And what do you think is the main thing that you're able to offer to your teammates in that locker room, being that you're one of the older students, one of the top performing students as well?
Just being a leader and knowing that they can always come and talk to me no matter what they went throughout their day. I just want them to know that I'm always there for them.
And then if there was one thing that you can tell to all of the viewers and all of the fans of the American Athletic Conference, what would you tell them?
Just be excited. We're really excited to play. We have some really good pieces that are coming in, so I think they'll be really excited to see us play.
And they need to rank you guys better this season, too, I would assume.
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Morgan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Maya, and great to hear from the preseason player of the year, Danae McNeill, who, of course, is on that preseason all-conference first team unveiled earlier today alongside her teammate Amaya Joyner, Madison Griggs from Memphis, Sammy Puisis from South Florida, Tamara Poindexter from Tulsa, all coaches that we've heard from here so far today. And on the men's side, we've got, for the East Carolina Pirates, Mike Schwartz here in his second season. They're picked preseason number 5 by the coaches. It's the highest for the Pirates since joining the American. The previous high was 7th back in 2016. Coach Schwartz, great to be here with you. Coaches in this conference have high expectations for the Pirates. Why do you as well?
Well, thanks for saying that, Morgan. I think it's the retention piece. I think when we look at everything about the positivity or the excitement of today is the fact that we have 8 players back, the consistency of the roster. We obviously added a few guys that we're really excited about. The consistency within the coaching staff. I think we really feel good that in year 2, basically, we have the same coaching staff. And then our administration that has poured into our basketball program. So I think all those things go into, some positivity into today.
I would argue that the consistency is important for everyone. It'd be important for Coach K and Tom Izzo just as much as it's important for you in year 2. But how important is it for you when you're building a program identity, a culture, and success within a conference that's seeing the movement that it's seeing? How key is it to have guys come back and know what you're working with year 2?
Yeah, that's huge, John. And that was our focal point into last year, was to somehow try and lay a foundation and a blueprint that wasn't just for year one and then we were restarting in year two. So to have the majority of our team back, 8 players, including 4 to 5 starters coming back. And, obviously Javon Small was a loss for us, but he went down in January and we played some of our best basketball and conference play after that as guys settled into those roles. So the consistency piece, and again, I can't say it enough, Ezra Osar, RJ Felton that are here, but we have 2 or 3 players back at home that were starters last year. Yeah. The new guys, Bobby Pettiford Jr. and Cam Hayes coming in as transfers, and then our coaching staff to all stick around for year 2. And, we still don't have a senior on the team. I mean, we hope we can keep this team together for 2 years.
I was going to say, that's the next question is how do you, I don't know, maybe this is a deeper philosophical question where year in, year out, with the transfer portal being the reality that it is, how can you possibly prepare for it being the other way, where you do lose a lot, and then it's the now what type of approach? Yeah,
and I know all coaches across the country in the climate right now, that's what we're all dealing with and trying to navigate. But you're not coaching this season thinking about next season, but what you are saying is, again, we want to have a program. We don't want to have a team. And I know, you look at what Coach Prime has done, and kudos to what they're doing. And there's people in college basketball that are doing the same. That's not our primary focus. Now, if we have to make the adjustment, we'll make the adjustment. And that's what all college coaches are going to have to do because of the climate. But right now, we're in a place going into year 2 where we really feel we have a chance to set up a program of consistency and some substance for years. And hopefully that builds and builds. So we'll see where that is after the season. But right now, we like where we are going into year 2.
Coach, speaking of building, the last 4 to 6 weeks of the season, you said that your team played the best basketball of the year. What was it that you liked, and what is it that you hope to build on?
Well, a big piece of that was Jaden Walker, who's not here with us at Media Day, but Jaden Walker had really settled into that point guard role. At one point, he played 160 straight minutes. He played 4 games in a row at 40 minutes a game. I think in the Houston game, with the media timeout, he got out for about 30 seconds, and then right after he was back in. So he basically played 160 straight minutes. So his command of the point guard position, Ezra Osar and RJ Felton, who are here, their level of game, it continued to rise late in the season. And then Brandon Johnson, that was really a foundational piece for us all year long. So when you look at those 4 guys and what they did down the stretch last year, I think it allowed us to finally find our rhythm, what we want our identity to be, particularly on defense. And, we played our best, but it's nowhere near where we want to be, obviously.
Coach, were you inspired by watching the women's team and Coach McNeill take her team from a last place start to a first place finish?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's what, as exciting as Media Day is and these preseason picks and where teams fall, everybody wants to be at number 1 at the end. And so regardless if you're picked last, somewhere in the middle, at the top, in the end is what matters. And I think last year when we were picked 11th, I think I said to you guys, that's just first place twice. And, so really, I think this is good, and it's a good positive momentum for everybody. But what Coach McNeal did with her team, and so to finish at the end with the championship, I think is just so inspirational to everybody, particularly our team.
One of the things we've been talking about with this conference is FAU and Memphis have gotten a lot of attention, understandably so, right? National attention. What does it take for ECU to be that 3rd team or 4th team from the conference in the NCAA tournament, or is that a conference issue collectively?
Well, I think we know Coach Hardaway in Memphis, their program, and what they've done consistently and what they did last year going into this year. Obviously, Coach May and FAU's program, and they have a Final Four team returning. And so when you look at those two, they absolutely should be at the pinnacle right now going into the season. I think for everybody else, we are chasing that, though. I don't think anybody says it wants to be a race for 3rd or 4th. I think everybody wants to get to the top. Everyone wants to have an opportunity to play in March. And so for us, it's continuing to build on the experience that we have. We got to build on some of the positives we had last year. And there were a lot more challenges that we got to fix, and everyone's been doing it since June. But trying to attack, hey, we want to play in March. We want to have a chance to win this conference championship, whether it be regular season or postseason conference tournament. And so, but there's no doubt about it. Right now, they're the standard setters in this league with what they've done.
But what gives you that opportunity? Like, is it style? Is it system? Is it communication? Is it finally having experience back?
I think experience is a big deal.
Or all the above.
Yeah, I think it's all the above. I think if I knew that answer, I think we'd be in
right.
really good shape. I think you got to navigate that as the season goes. Yeah. But right now, it's about experience and buy-in as we get ready for these scrimmages and get ready to play, in conference. It's so much to talk about the American Conference right now, but I would guarantee you every coach in here is worried about November 6th, November 7th, really worried about Tuesday's practice as we all get back to where we're going to have practice tomorrow. So, but I just think it's the continued buy-in of the team, and I talked about that a lot last year, buy-in of what we're trying to do, because this is a real marathon we have in front of us.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us. You have some key newcomers coming in. Also add Mark Adams to your staff, a big defensive guy. So excited to see what you guys can do here this season, and appreciate the time here today.
Thank you guys for having me. Definitely excited. Appreciate it.